Oh, yes, they did. Yeah! The Omnicam rocks! This thing is amazing. You're not going to believe this thing. It's a color rendering imaging system that analyzes the colors of tissue, enamel, dentin, materials like gold, amalgam, composite even, and then it can see it in 3 dimensions because of the colors. So that way, when you have a model such as this, you can actually see the variations of colors. Not only is it easier to learn because of this, but your patients can understand better what you're doing. It is truly fascinating. And because of this, it's easy to learn. It's literally like painting the quadrant. All you have to do is put the camera in the mouth. It automatically starts taking, and the direction of the camera is already highlighted, as you'll see in a video later, that it's intuitive. So it's quite easy to learn. No more powdering. That reduces the learning curve as well. And quite frankly, all us CEREC users for all these years, we've tolerated it, and it's not that bad, but now we don't even need it. The other great thing about the Omnicam is the ergonomics. Sirona made the camera in a very balanced way. It's much like a dental handpiece. So when you're holding it, it feels good, it's balanced. And you can rotate it, move it around different corners. You can get it anywhere in the mouth quite easily. Even 90 degrees, straight up and down, this camera does it all. It's amazing. Hey, I would love to talk about all the details of the camera, but I think you'd probably just want to see it in action. So I'm going to show you a couple cases. This first case is a gentleman that had a root canal on a premolar, and we use the Omnicam in CEREC 4.0 to make him a crown. What I'd like for you to notice as you're watching the video is how it's live streaming in the mouth. It's just like a video camera. You can see the teeth as you see the model being produced. It's truly fascinating. So let's go. All right, so we did our imaging. We imaged our preparation, our upper model, and then we did the buccal bite. I think you saw how easy and intuitive that was. It is a lot of fun. So anyway, let's take it to the step where we're gonna mark our margin. I'm not gonna go through all the buccal bite articulation. I'm sure you're already aware of doing that. So we're gonna skip that part and we're gonna go straight to the margination. First thing I'd like to show you is that, you can see all of this in color. You can see the gingiva, you can see the tooth structure, and you can also see some composites on the molars. So you can see everything with this. What's so nice about this is that it differentiates between tooth structure and gingiva, so it's even easier to find the margin. In fact, I have found that I have to do less tissue manipulation just so I can see the margin because everything is in color now. In fact, one really neat technique is to actually mark the occlusion with articulating paper beforehand, and you can already see the marks on the teeth. That way it'll give you a guide for occlusion as you're making your proposal or designing your proposal. Anyway, so let's start with this. We're gonna mark our margin just like we would in 4.0. What I'd like to point out is, when you see on the lingual here, there's a little bit of red. There was a little bleeding area. I must have nicked it or something. I'm not really sure what happened, but it can even pick up areas like that. So we're gonna start marking our margin. We can differentiate the color of the tooth versus the gingiva, so it's quite easy to get the margin down. And again, even if this was subgingival, we'd be able to see the exact location of the tooth because of the color differentiation. So I'm going to make sure that didn't fall off anywhere. It did a little bit in through here. And we're ready to go to define the insertion axis. So we're going to make sure the insertion axis is correct, mesial and distal. It's already lined up correctly, so I'm going to say okay to that. And then we're going to go through the biogeneric proposal. Okay, so the biogeneric proposal came out, and then we can evaluate the contacts and the occlusion like we would normally in any other case. I'm going to use the two-direction shape to build this out, and then the smooth tool to get it down for intensity. So I always design the size first, and then I melt back for intensity. So I have a good broad contact, little C shape here. Let me get that embrasure looking a little bit better. And then I have occlusion on the cuss tip, but I want to make sure that I'm getting some in the fossa, so I want to bring this up to some degree. Again, one of my favorite tools is the two-direction circular shape tool. Now this gentleman's missing some other teeth, so I'm not going to give him much occlusion, or can I, in that mesial area. So that's about all the designing that I need to do. We're ready to take it to the mill stage and get it in the milling chamber. Well, what you saw with that case is extremely easy imaging, easy designing, easy restoration, easy altogether. And that's what CEREC 4.0 and the new Omnicam can give you. Here are a few pictures of the case. This is the preparation. This is the milled Emax crown tried in before crystallization, of course, to make sure everything fits correctly. And then this is it after it's been fired. The patient was really happy, not only with the aesthetics and getting it done in one visit, but the doctor, me, I was extremely happy with it, the way the fit was, the occlusion, but the margins are phenomenal. You can see this really well on the post-operative x-rays. This is the kind of quality that you're going to get out of the Omnicam and CEREC 4.0. It is too much fun. Another quick case I'd like to show you is with biocopy. This lady had a porcelain fused to metal crown that needed to be replaced. She had recurrent decay, and she just needs a new crown with the same shape, same occlusion. So we use the Omnicam CEREC 4.0. We get the restoration milled out. We can check the occlusion, make sure everything is right. Now in this particular case, I did have to adjust the contact slightly, but it was just a couple passes with the burr, extremely easy. And within seconds, I had it all the way down. We get it fired and cemented, and the patient was happy again with the aesthetics. I was as well. But again, the margins on the post-operative x-rays cannot be denied. This thing fits. This last case I'd like to show you is actually replacing a fractured ceramic crown with an Emax crown using the Omnicam. Now, this particular patient of mine has had a number of ceramic crowns fracture. They weren't done in our office, nor were they done with CEREC. It was done with another dentist here in my city and with a feldspathic material. I've discovered that the reduction that was done for these preparations just wasn't adequate enough. So a lot of these ceramic crowns are fracturing. And there's no blame to that really. We just need to know exactly what the prep guidelines are for the materials. What's so great about our CEREC system, whether it's the Omnicam or the blue camera or even the red camera, we have to prepare for materials, not so much for the imaging. And that's a big misunderstanding, I think, outside of the CEREC community. But regardless, we're going to remake this crown with the Omnicam, CEREC 4.0, and Emax. So we get the crown off, we finish up the margins, we give it adequate occlusal reduction, and we start imaging it. Now, what I'd like for you to notice in this particular case, as I'm imaging, is the X-bacil left at the mesial buccal. What's really neat about the Omnicam, because of the color differentiation, you can use it to your advantage, whether it's like X-bacil or a cord. It helps you determine where the margins are even easier. So the X-bacil was left there because there was a little bit of a bleeding area, and I just needed it controlled. So because it's green, it can easily differentiate that between the enamel color. So anyway, keep your eye on that as we image this case. Well, I think you saw how fast the design can be, and I hope you realize that I sped the video up on that just to get through it a little bit quicker. But anyway, it was extremely fast, extremely easy, and I think you saw how easy the imaging was because the ergonomics of the camera. It's very simple. So we tried in the Emax crown, and we fired it and cemented it. I really liked the aesthetics, so did the patient. But more importantly, I love the post-operative x-ray. This is what you can achieve with CEREC 4.0 and the Omnicam. It is truly amazing. What I love about this case and this patient in particular is here she is having all these ceramic crowns fractured, not a lot of confidence with it, but she is a huge advocate for our practice. She loves the one-visit dentistry. She loves the fact that our crowns look nice and it's an easy process. I know you have patients just like this in your practice, and it's truly powerful, the idea of one-visit dentistry. It's awesome. The Omnicam from Sirona is by far the greatest invention in dentistry today. I love using this thing every single day. Make sure you get a good demo of it. You're going to be fascinated by how easy this camera really works. But with all of that said, there's only one thing to say, and that is the Omnicam rocks. Yeah!